All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Carlos, I was sort of hoping you would just start meowing.
Yeah, meow.
That's what
and for those that are, sometimes I speak too bluntly, and my wife doesn't like that, but we'll do it really quickly here. The cat does not mean we're for Trump. Doesn't mean anything. It's just we love cats, right? So I know now everything cats is Trump on social media. It's insane. They got some cute stuff going, but we don't care. Like I said, we don't care what your affiliation is. We love you either way, but that doesn't mean that. So don't get upset if you're on the other side. That doesn't matter.
Do cats?
Peter, you got some.
I don't.
Oh, you got social media is insane.
I can't follow the ins and outs of U.S. politics. It's too crazy, man. Whatever.
That's the thing, though. Even if you're not following politics, they're pushing it so much. It's trending so hard that it's just going to come up in your feed,
Right.
But yeah, Peter, we got some fun stuff today, man. Let's get right to it. What you got for this morning?
Yeah, we got some economic data that came out. So finally, it's been a slow week for economic data, but today we've got some stuff. Yesterday we had the PPI, which didn't really do much. Oh, what did I do here? Sorry, the CPI stuff that came out. Today is the PPI, Producer Price Index. This is moving down or up the food chain. I always forget which way they consider that. But anyways, farther back away from the consumer and is actually probably a better indicator of whether inflation is going to occur or not. The forecast was for 2% growth in the producer prices overall. Basically came in on target, 0.2% for the overall index, and the core, which basically eliminates some items and focuses on core elements, was up slightly higher at 0.3%. Jobless claims also came out this morning, pretty much right on target. 225,000 was the forecast, 225 or 227 depending where you look. It's interesting how there's always a discrepancy in some of these numbers depending which service you look at. The reported number, though, is 230,000 jobs. So I guess that's good. Slightly more jobs. So shows slightly stronger economy if we're creating jobs. And you notice that right now the Qs and the SPY are dropping, but not by much because it's pretty close to the target. So I don't know that that's going to have much of an impact. Later today, we do have the monthly budget. Every month, the U.S. government gets to show us how much money they are over budget. Fascinating to me how different the forecast numbers are. They were going anywhere from $250 billion to $350 billion or $360 billion. I sort of just picked a midpoint here at 317 as that was one of the numbers I saw. I don't know. Somewhere there's a couple $100 billion that the U.S. government has overspent and had to borrow from Europe and China and others, as usual. It still hurts my head to know that every single month, this is in addition, by the way, to the forecast budget that is about a $3 trillion deficit budget, that there's another $300 million every month that is overspent, which is like twice the deficit. Yeah, anyways, it's crazy numbers. Anyways, whatever, right? What's another couple $100 billion? Throw it in the pot. Who cares at this point? All right. So there's a half rant right there for Peter. I've got another one ready for you later because I'm frustrated about something this morning. But let's talk about stocks because we had a good day yesterday. Things are moving again yesterday and really impressive recovery. The open I didn't think was especially easy. But if you look at a lot of stuff, look how so many things dropped. In fact, they almost did a little pop right at the open. Then they dropped heavily, and I thought, oh, man, it's going to be another down day. And look how around 11 o'clock or noon, everything came roaring back. We can see the SPY, the Qs look similar. Look at NVIDIA or Tesla. Some very impressive moves higher to close out the day yesterday with a lot of stuff closing at or near the highs. My good friend and long-term partner, AMD, had an excellent day yesterday at the end of it. So, and I can't really tie that to any specific news. It's just market sentiment changed around 11 o'clock. There was no specific announcement that I am aware of. I think here's my honest view on it, and not meant to be a political statement, but because the debate happened the day before, the expectation was that the market would see a drop at the end of the debate, and I think everybody had the market drop because of that anticipation, but then said, well, wait a second, there's actually some clients out there that want to buy, and then the buying sort of started happening after people found what they thought was the low in prices. Because as we looked through that, there was no significant volume change at the inflection point when the market changed sentiment. So at least not that on the stuff I was watching. So it looked to me like it was just everybody said, well, wait a second, we all sort of, the general assumption was the market would decline, so that's what started to happen until everybody said, well, that's not actually what we want to do. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, look at that volume profile you can see here over the course of the day, right? Like, it's not like it increased significantly. It just sort of was fairly flat all day, right? Little variations, but nothing really significant. So I found that fascinating. So hey, look, who knows what's going to happen today, right? Whatever happens, hopefully we just get good trading out of it. That's all I want. And this week has been great for trading, in my opinion. So let's see what we've got on the watch list. We've got a few things gapping up, gapping down that we can take a look at, a couple of earnings that we can talk about. So let's get right into it, Carlos.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, let's take a look at our gappers list here, friends. Let's take a look at TONO this morning. The first one leading the way. This is up 121%, 8.9 million shares traded. So we got tons of volume on it. Tenon Medical. So maybe some kind of trial phase medicine stuff going on here, Peter, on this one. Typically not something I will watch, so I'm probably going to not spend too much time on it. But what's driving them this morning?
Tenon. Well, earlier this month, they did have a 1-for-8 reverse split. You can probably tell when that happened. You can just look at the volume, right? That happened basically on the 4th of September. But you notice the price, interestingly, didn't go anywhere. But that's not the news for this morning. This morning, they've got they've published a review of their basically prime treatment that is, I'm trying to read here. As soon as there's a lot of commas in something, you're in trouble, right? The first 33 consecutive patients from an IRB approved prospective multi-centered post-market clinical investigation using the Catamaran SI joint fusion system. There you go. That's what I mean. What else could I say? I mean, that's as clear as mud. Whatever. That's what's driving it.
Yeah. We're gonna leave that one alone, friends. I don't like it at all. Again, typically not one of the stocks that I will be looking at. Let's take a look at the next one here. OBLG. So OBLG rocking this morning, up 70%, 2.4 million shares traded so far. A lower price stock. Again, these type of lower price, lower float are not going to be found on my list, but this one is in play today. Peter, anything exciting happening there?
This is Oblong Inc. Would you say oblong or oblong? Anyways, I'd say oblong. They're a software company, and basically, the only real news is, oh, look, they regained compliance with the NASDAQ listing requirements, which is actually not that great of a thing. That just means that they were out of compliance and were risking being delisted, but they did what they had to, and now they're again within compliance and are still good to trade. So yippee! Yeah, I'm not trading it. Not enough to convince me.
Yeah, we don't like that. All right, let's take a look. Next one on here, HCA this morning. So HCA, we'll skip on to the next one. We have a ticker tech. That's pretty cool, but it's not actually a technology company. It's a bio company, looks like. So tech, no, should not be here. Again, nothing going on there. No volume. PFSI, nothing. SMMT, we've seen this before plenty of times. It has been in play over the last couple of days. And today it's up 6.2, 432,000 shares traded. Ever since the 9th, this thing has been just heading northeast. So, Peter, trading continues on this thing. Let's take a look on how it did yesterday. So if we hop over here, but it's trading. See, the intraday on this is brutal. Yesterday, at least, was not great at all. That was pretty bad. The day before, and it looks like the day before that one, you had some really nice moves here. So we kind of been talking about this one a little bit. Peter, do they have another great trading day today, or what are we thinking on this one?
I don't know. I mean, they did their co-CEOs. By the way, a model I'm not fond of. I worked for Nortel Networks. Take a drink, everyone. At a time when they tried a co-CEO model and it failed miserably. Co-CEOs, it's rare that they get along, right? You get two big egos in one box, and that can cause problems. But anyways, the co-CEOs of Summit Therapeutics, Bob Dugan and Maki Zangane, basically did an interview and talked about their next stage lung cancer drug. So that got a little bit of buzz in it yesterday. I don't know. I mean, they did raise, there was a secondary offering. They raised another $235 million at a closing price of about $22.70. So, that's not usually good news for a stock, which has probably counteracted the positive interview they had yesterday. Carlos, to your question, I don't know whether there's no reason to believe it's going to be a good trading day today. I mean, it could be, but
Yeah.
this news is not strong enough to really, put it on my list.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. It's had some good days on it, but again, just not sure if today's going to be the day. The market has been trading so well, and I've been sticking, especially this week, to a lot of my usual suspects. I mean, I traded PLTR yesterday, which is not usual suspects of mine, but the market's been that good. Like we don't have to go searching too far. So we'll see if today that's going to continue. All right, I might stop here because the rest look garbage-like. So if we could roll the truck for the rest of that list, and we'll go to you, Peter. Anything gapping up that might not be on this list or is on this list that we haven't talked about yet?
Let's see. I'm really surprised to see PLCE on the list. Children's Place, they had earnings yesterday. They were over 2%. They just dropped below it again. So nothing interesting there. But I do have a couple of earnings on the gap up that I wanted to talk about. We'll start with Kroger. It's probably the biggest of them, KR. They were on my earnings list this morning. I haven't actually seen earnings numbers, but they did raise their guidance, or at the very least, they put their guidance to the top end of the analyst expectations. So that's good for Kroger KR. Not a lot of volume this morning. Not a surprise. They typically don't get a lot of volume. Being a NYSE stock, they typically have lower volume pre-market, but they can move when they have news. So you might want to keep an eye on that. Signet Jewelers is one of the other ones I always keep an eye on. I think it's probably because quite a few years ago, anyways, I had some great trading on Signet. Haven't moved much recently, but they did have earnings this morning. They're up a good amount, 14% on only 130,000 shares traded. So the pre-market price action doesn't look great, but they did beat their numbers and had a good quarter. And Brent, this is I'm going to call you into action. The last one I need to talk about had earnings this morning. LOVE. There I am enjoying my Love Sack beanbag. And I always got to talk about their earnings just because, I still haven't got that sponsorship. I tell you, if they're sponsoring me and willing to ship me one, I will sit in that thing as we do the pre-market show every morning. Something's got to be done about my toes, though. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's sorry about that. I'm not sure what.
AI has huge problems with fingers and toes. So it's just can't get them right. As you could tell when something's funky, look at the fingers and toes. Yep.
I tried. I got the color a little darker. I was trying to match my shirt to what I remembered was in that picture. So today, but that's really me. What are you guys talking about? Anyways, there I am. Yeah, I'm looking sharp, sitting in my love sack. Anyways, they had earnings this morning. I had a good quarter, probably because of our promotion last quarter. That's people jumped in. Anybody here have a love sack in your room, in your house? Actually, you know what? Answer the question anyways. There you go.
Don't
do you
ask
really?
that.
Yeah, that could be taken the wrong way, but anyways, that's okay. We're all adults. We're used to. All right. Well, see, you're missing out, Simmer. You got to get one. All right, out there on YouTube, if you have if you're a fan. Anyways, they don't typically get a lot of volume. As you can see, the average daily volume sitting at about 180,000 shares, so it's not a big. I like the company name, so it was fun. Anyways, that's those are the three that I wanted to mention. I mean, I should mention for Gap up, by the way, I did talk about it earlier, but Nvidia gapping up this morning. Yesterday, I am so impressed with Nvidia's movement yesterday. It was pretty darn good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but and it's also moving up. I'm surprised that AMD is actually moving down. It was actually looking good yesterday, sort of pre-market, but it's going the other way, or at least on the other side of break even, but not by far. It could be on the gap upside by the time we're done talking here.
Yeah. You did mention NVIDIA, so I'm going to add that one on there because that was so clean yesterday. Did not give me a 5 minute ORB opportunity, but man, it traded so nice. So we'll add that on there. And then let's get to this gap down list. So RIDE, RYDE this morning, we were down 62%, lower price stock. Man, what a landslide here. Sold off yesterday. And then from there, it just kept going. And this morning, we are down quite a bit. So sitting on the American Stock Exchange, which typically I don't trade anything there on the American Stock Exchange unless it's like the SPY. I don't actually trade your companies in there. Peter, anything happening with this one? Also, keep in mind low flow at 11 million shares traded, so not looking good.
No, I don't. There's no news on it. There's no analysts that are covering it. I only see in stock twits. There's one comment that says it's a it's very apparently upset at Ride, probably because they must have bought some stake in it or something, because they're calling it a Singapore-based U.S. listed scam. It's that is currently imploding. So, anyways, I don't see anything about it.
Yeah. I don't like it. All right. Let's go to ALRM this morning. And this is alarm.com. And they shouldn't be here. So we'll skip right down to mRNA. Wow. mRNA. Have not seen this in a while. Whoa. I love this pre market action. Down 13%, almost 700,000 shares traded right now. This looks good. So it's got to be some news, Peter, of course, this type of movement we're seeing here.
Yeah, there's a couple of things actually that came out. So they updated their guidance, which, of course, as you might expect, analysts were not as happy with as it wasn't as high as they wanted to be. Moderna cut their research budget because the vaccine sales were lower than expected. So obviously they don't have as much R&D dollars to spend. And they say that they might delay the timeline of that combined COVID and flu shot that they said they were going to file a patent for, or file approval for with the FDA. So some bad news coming for not terrible news, but delays combined with R&D cutbacks combined with lower sales forecast just means the market's saying, yeah, we're not so happy. And some investors are probably going to be looking for the exit if they were hanging on here. This may be the time where they say, yeah, I've had enough. So, this is down significantly from the highs that it enjoyed for last 4 years or so. So, and I don't think I'm just going back here, Carlos. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, we're heading back to the levels that they had basically pre-COVID. Not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. Pre-COVID, this was a $10, $20 stock. So we just have to keep that in mind. This was, it's in the realm of possibility. It could head back there if people, just say we're done and we're completely out of it. But that's the news.
That's never good. Getting your fundings pulled like that. That is bad news for them. So I like that one. I'm definitely going to be on my list today. I see MU. I'm skipping through this because some of these look, just by looking at them, they look garbage type. But let's look at MU because that's one that we know very well. It is down 3.2, 1.4 million shares traded. Again, how did they do yesterday? I mean, everything was Nvidia, but they did trade well yesterday with the overall market movements. We saw the drop and the recovery that Peter talked about earlier on many stocks. So you could have picked probably one of your favorites and done very, very well. But yeah, I don't see anything exciting on it this morning. It does got some volume on it. You know what? The thing with MU is you have to wait for the market open. So we'll put it on here. I do like the volume we're seeing. Let's see if that's going to translate to anything. But and Nvidia's taking the spotlight on this semi area, so they will be front and center. All right, that's what I have for the gap down. Peter, what's up? What you got on your end?
Let's see. Everything I wanted to talk about was on the Gap up list. Gap down. I have to go back to just some of the old good old standbys. Tesla had a good day yesterday. Same type of move we saw with the other stocks we were talking about, with that dip midday. A little bit of a push up. Well, anyways, it tried to hold level at the start of the day, and then it dropped. And then pushed up through the rest of the day. But we're gapping down this morning on Tesla. It could be another, good day. I mean, it had a $10 move range move yesterday, so good move range. I mean, again, not as good as on the semis. I mean, yesterday I think Nvidia moved about $9 and it's half the price, and AMD moved about $9 and it's half the price. So, it's some better moves per dollar, I guess, if you will, on the semis. But Tesla, like I keep saying, is always in play. One that wasn't as good was Apple yesterday, and I think Apple's going to continue to just be a disappointment. I don't think it'll be that much fun. But I knew a few people in our room were watching Amazon, so I wanted to put that on your radar because it actually had a good move yesterday. Another didn't move $9 yesterday. It only moved about $6, but still moved well with the market. Good steady movement on Amazon. I liked the price action for most of the day yesterday, so might be worth watching. And the other one that was surprising to me that moved as well as it did was BABA, BABA. If you remember, we were talking about it being dual listed here. What was it called? The Chinese something scheme. I just remember it was a scheme. And as soon as something's part of a scheme, that never sounds good to me. But again, I bet you it sounds better in Chinese, I'm sure. They actually moved fairly well yesterday. Might be worth watching if you like trading those stocks. That's what I got.
Yeah. All right, there we go, friends. All right, so right now on my list so far, NVIDIA and mRNA. We will add Tesla because it's just that good. So Tesla on deck as well. And then we'll see what else you guys have this morning that I might be able to add to this list. And then have MU on the secondary. All right, we'll start here with our chat. Send Trader, you're giving us Roku. Let's take a look at Roku this morning.
Zen's like, nice, did we skip Roku? I was just looking at that. I'm like, what were we supposed to talk about Roku? Like it didn't, it hasn't done anything interesting. Have I missed something?
Yeah, it's up. It's up here nicely. I don't know what they got going on, but this is a nice pop. I mean, Roku, we used to trade this a ton. It did not hit our gappers list, maybe because it didn't have the volume, or our gappers list is just being what it's been for a couple of weeks here. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to kind of wait and see where this goes. I'm going to put it as a secondary. They have not been great. I have not looked at how they trade. Have been trading lately. So, but it's worth a look here. Any news, Peter? Did you find anything on this?
I didn't. I got nothing. Okay. I mean, somebody's saying upgrades. The last upgrade I see was by Wells Fargo a week ago on a few days ago on September the 5th. But I guess that's a week ago. But yeah, I don't see anything else. Don't love it.
Yeah. I don't like it as much on the secondary list for now. All right, let's take a look here, friends. So we got Tesla is good. What else on here? Let's take a look at our YouTube chat. DLTR by Joseph. DLTR. If I can spell that correctly, DLTR. There we go. No. What is going on here? There's no volume on it now. Dollar Tree. Are we talking about the same thing here? So there's no volume right now. I see what you're looking at, right? It had a huge gap down. I mean, it's just been getting destroyed here. Huge gap down going into September here, and then it's just kind of leveled off. So maybe if you're looking for a possible bounce or more bad news to drive this down, but that could take some time. I see stocks stay here, especially like this one that don't get a lot of trading volume. They could stay here for a very long time into the next news event comes up. So I'm not excited to have this one on my list, but again, it depends on what you're looking for. It might take a while before we get something good out of that one. All right, let's take a look at Oracle. Oracle this morning. Let's see here. So Oracle right now, we are pretty much flat. You know what? These guys are very difficult to trade. Before yesterday, they got their big gap up here, and we saw some action there. But even the trading day was not as clean as I would like. We were watching this one, and it was just you got one initial move, and then it just went sideways, very very choppy. And this is typical oracle type price action, even after such a beautiful gap up, right? So you got to be careful with it. I'd rather spend my mental bandwidth looking at something else. I don't think this will be on my list. So just be careful on this one. They still maintain that gap up, which is nice. We have to see if that's going to hold. If they start selling off, there could be some opportunities there. mRNA, yes, it is on deck for sure. I mean, that one's looking really nice this morning, down quite a bit. And again, just no bias, guys. Come into this trade knowing that it can go lower and it can recover. So just play the price action, right? Don't get married to your theories if you're wrong. Because you can get caught in a really ugly situation. PLTR this morning, uh, it was such a tough trader for me yesterday. I still like the daily. Volume is okay. You know what? We had a green trade on it. Why not put it on the secondary? Let's be nice. We'll put it on the secondary for now. It's got some volume on it. The daily does look good. Like if this was any other ticker, I would definitely put it on my main list. But it's PLTR, so we'll have to be careful with it. Okay, over on our YouTube chat, looks like we have covered everyone. Good morning, Penny. How you doing? Hope you're well. Let's take a look at. Um, Someone mentioned they had a
Can,
9-day winning streak here in chat. So good for you. Who
wow.
was that in our YouTube
Oh,
chat?
that's good.
So that is awesome. So you've been trading pretty well. So my advice to you is, I lost the name here. Just be careful. Usually, a lot of traders, their biggest losses come after their long winning streak. So the plan for you, or at least for me, if I was in your shoes, is that if you're going to have a losing day, accept it quickly and let it be small, right? Don't force a winning trade, because I've done that so many times. I go on a 7-day winning streak, 8-day winning streak, and I'm just crushing it. And next thing you know, when it's time to take a loss, that loss is much larger than what it should be because I'm being stubborn. So my advice to anyone that's doing that, take it or leave it, is your call. But again, be very, very careful with the winning streaks there. You're not supposed to win forever. You have to lose eventually, make the losses very small. Peter, you have something on to mention?
Yeah. Can I borrow the camera for a second?
Yes, all
Look, I
yours.
need to do an old man rant. Hey, here we go. Just don't join me over here for the rant cam. Hey, everybody. I'm an old dude. Look, I've got no hair, and what I've got is gray. But I just, when social media, if you're gonna feed me videos, right, and give me some videos to watch and stuff, that's okay. But stop taking them away from me. It drives me nuts. There was this great video. There was an interview with the CEO of Netflix, and he was talking about the deal that he was going to make with Blockbusters when they were like $50 million in debt, and Blockbuster was a $6 billion company headquartered in Dallas. And I watched the first 2 minutes, and I'm like, I need to watch that, but I got some work to do. So I'll just do that work, and I'll come back. And by the time I came back to my phone, the screensaver had come on, and the video's gone. You guys have that, right? Where the video disappears as soon as the screensaver comes on and it like resets the app. It doesn't seem to matter which of these apps. It always happens. It drives me crazy. Leave me my video, man. You want me to like pay attention? Give me the thing I want to pay attention to. I'm coming back to it. Come on. All right, we'll back to trading. All right.
Well, let's not tell Peter the solution for that for a little bit. Let's let him marinate on that.
I have no idea what the solution is.
And
If
we're
you
not going
know,
to
let
tell
me
you for a
know.
little bit because we love this rant. No, we're not going to tell you. We love
Ugh,
this rant. No, man, it
all right.
happens to me too. It depends on what platform you're in. If you're on Instagram, for example, you have to bookmark it immediately. The minute you think you want to see this again, because if you try to find it, it like disappears from the face of the
Yeah, it's
social
gone.
media universe. It's gone. It happens to me all the time. But yeah, yeah, you got to bookmark. I got a bunch of bookmarks, and you could always go back to them. But yeah, that's funny.
All right.
But that only works on Instagram. Like other platforms, I don't know if that actually works because there's been some other ones where I don't know how to actually do it. All right, friends.
See, but I like how everybody's providing comments. I forwarded them to myself via email, or I bookmark it, or
Wow,
I take a link and I put it in a different app. They're making you do the work. Come on, man.
that's
Like
right. I
if
still
you're
agree. I still agree. The rant is very valid. It should stay right where you left off. Right, I
right,
agree. But you shouldn't have
why
to do
make
that
me do
extra
the
step.
work? Anyways,
Yeah. All right, friends, there is your rant for this beautiful Thursday morning, man. I'm loving this weather here in the Northeast. Nice. And this sweater weather is amazing. So hopefully you guys have got some good weather on your end. I know Jared wasn't on this morning. I went on looking for him and didn't find him. I know he has no power. So our good buddy Raf was on the mic today. So yeah, so hopefully he's doing well. All right, friends, let's take a look here. GME, yeah, we'll look at GME. Then we'll head over to community events and announcements. Show you guys what's happening for the day today. GME right now, no, it doesn't look good. I mean, it's just I think the fun is over on this thing, man. I mean, I don't know. But yesterday they did have some movements, but I can't give them credit for this because there's so many other stocks that move just like this 10 times better. So they won't make my list today unless they get some insane volume that you have no choice but to watch it, right? So they're not doing that right now, at least. So I'll leave it alone. Sweater weather. Oh yeah, man. Here it's getting to 50, 58 at night. So it's dropping quite a bit. It's awesome. Love it, love it. Humidity's down. It's nice. All right. Let's see, friends. Let's see what's happening for the next for the day today. Head over to bearwithtraders.com and you can always click on webinars and see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. We have that calendar there for you. You can take advantage of all our good events that are taking place. If you haven't done so on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton, guys. You'd be surprised. So again, do us a favor and hit that button. Really appreciate it. Here it is. Here's the list for today.
What? Wait.
Peter?
Okay.
Did you lose yourself like the videos?
You said, here's the list. It was throwing me off. I thought you were going to list the stocks. Okay. Here is the list of mentorship sessions that we've got for today. Absolutely. And as always, we've got 4 for you, starting with John at 11 o'clock. He's going to talk stocks or anything you want. If you like a dry sense of humor, he's the man to go to. I love John's humor. It's great. And he claimed to fame yesterday. One of his dry humor little rants on X or Twitter was retweeted by Elon. So there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't think he retweeted it, but he liked it, which is pretty good, man. He liked it. Yeah.
Well,
no, if he retweeted, if he would have retweeted, John would have had like a 500,000 followers right now. But yeah, man, he liked it.
He liked it. Well, I guess that means he read it, or somebody on his team read it, anyways. So there you go. So, anyways, I thought that was actually pretty cool. All right, so join John at 11 o'clock, and he can talk about that, or he can talk about stocks. He can talk about high day breaks. He can talk about pretty much anything you want. Ask him the wrong question, and he will give you a rant of his own. But that's part of the fun. And then 2 o'clock we have hopefully Jared and Megan, although Megan's traveling and Jared's in the middle of a storm. So I'm not sure what's happening with that session, but hopefully it's going to happen at 2 o'clock. One or both of them may be there at 2 o'clock to talk options with you. What will happen, Lenny will be here at 4 to talk any equity question that you want. He's going to give you his perspective of the markets and answer your questions. And then, as always, we got the ever popular Thor's Day mentorship session that happens at 8 o'clock. Always closes out our mentorship day. So Thor will be doing that tonight. And hopefully he's got the smell of backed up toilets out of his nose. I feel bad for his daughter whose school just got, it was gross, man.
I can't
toilets all
think about that, man.
School.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. It's bad enough having sewers back up, but when toilets in like a grade school backup, I can only imagine. And in Florida on top. For somehow it just seems to me that toilets are worse in Florida. That's at least my impression. Probably not true, but that's what I picture. So there you go. All right. Anyways, he's going to be doing mentorship talking about stocks tonight at 8 o'clock. All right. So that's what we got. 11, 2, 4, 8. Go to any or all of those and you should have some fun and education at the same time. Speaking of education, we had a great webinar last night. I always love it when people share their experience. I want to thank Wesley and Brendan who did that webinar, their psychology webinar last night. It was a great one, which is recorded and will be posted soon into our education center for all of our elite members. So it's a great session last night. Thanks for that. If you wanted to join us at Bear Bull Traders, look at this, man. We've got some options. People were telling me yesterday, by the way, when I was talking about the Elite Annual, I was actually talking about I wasn't the Elite Annual because I talked about the Elite Annual is listed here. is a different package. But everything I said sort of, can apply. If you want to get access to the chat room, we're still here. The intro offer does exist. We're not advertising it here on the website because we want to be exclusive for you friends on YouTube. So if you want that $1 access, Andrew has said he wants to make that available to all our friends out there on YouTube to encourage you to join the trading room. So instead of $39, it's just $1. It's really just to keep the bots and the scammers away. That's the only reason why we're charging $1. We want you to try out the room, see what it's like. And hopefully you'll love it, and then come join us using the basic elite monthly packages or the elite annual, one way or the other. We'd love to see you in the chat room. We did have a lot of fun with it yesterday. So, Adam, if you didn't get the $1 deal, I would email support and support at variabletraders.com, and they can probably take care of you. Andrew did say in our last meeting that was going to be available, so you should be able to get the $1. Tell them Peter sent you. We'll give you the $38 back. Not a big deal. We can make that happen. I think I have the authority to do that. well, Andrew's not here, so we'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
All right. And don't forget, on tradingterminal.com, which is where we get our data in the morning, there is a 50% sale off the courses in the academy. So if you're interested in those, some great learning options and opportunities in there, go check it out, and you can take advantage of that 50% deal. All right, let's set some levels, Carlos.
All right, absolutely. Thank you, man. All right, coming here, let's take a look at, I think I got this going here. 1 second, friends. All right, we'll take a look at some.
The only problem with this picture, Brent, is that I really want to take that sleep out of the cat's eye. Can I just get?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Carlos, we lost you.
But that's,
I have
apparently that's
way more cat photos though that I could put up. Maybe
Here
I'll
it is.
change it up
Okay.
next time.
There you go.
I think I came back.
Change Carlos's cat hairdo for tomorrow. So
yeah, let's see here. I think this might be working now. Let's take a look. Take a look real quick, and then we'll get to our.
You having trouble with your charts there, Carlos? Yes? No. What's happening?
There it is. I got you now. I got you. So yeah, Peter, I bought the cable, but the problem is I left the camera on. So the cable with the camera doesn't charge the battery, doesn't keep it on. So that feature with the USB doesn't charge the camera while it's on. So I still have to do my part and turn off the camera before I leave here. And that's what I did not do. So it's something. But friends, yeah, mRNA keeps dropping here, looking very nice this morning. I got NVIDIA and Tesla. Again, another very small list of stocks to watch, but we've been getting a very small focused list, and they've been doing very well. So I don't mind that at all. SPY's sitting pretty much flat right now, not moving since it has moved up about a 0.25% here. So again, let's see where this goes. Looking forward to today's action. Let's start with NVIDIA, who has been amazing. High of the pre-market this morning, 118.14. So we'll slam a level there. And then towards the bottom, we do have 116.63. That's another great area to put a level on. And then below that, you're sitting just slightly below the previous day close as well, and below the low of the pre-market. You do have a daily level down at 112.60. I mean, yesterday was just insane. What was this? So you called it a $10 move, Peter? Yeah, $10. $10 from the low of the pre-market all the way up to the close. It was just insane. For a stock trading at 107, 110, that's a big move. That is a big move, guys. So 121.64 is looking good there above pre-market highs, and also 123.21. And yes, we're going to mark down 128 because $10 moves on the stock is not a problem if the market overall is going to help it. So 128.38. We'll mark that there as well. Let's head down to mRNA, which continues to just highway to hell this morning here. Low of the pre-market, we're going to mark it at 68.09. So we'll slam one there. Then we got to go back a little bit. to the left here, October, November timeframe, 2023. We did hit at these levels, 68.45, right? To the penny almost there, it looks like. Then towards the bottom here, 62.56. I'm only going to worry about these two levels for now, and we'll see what happens. But you also have 72.82 that you can mark down as well on your list. So there you go for mRNA. Love the volume right now. Love the gap down. I mean, there's just not having a great day this morning, and hopefully that can provide us some good trading opportunities. Tesla down 1.3. They're trying to hold this 224.90. Elon's getting a little frisky. Did you see his tweet to Taylor Swift? I mean, not that he hasn't done that stuff in the past, but yeah, he had a he tweeted out, and don't quote me because I remember correctly. He tweeted out, okay, after Taylor Swift posted a picture of the cat and putting her commitment to Harris. He responded back, okay, Taylor Swift, I'll give you a child and take care of your cats as well, something like that. I'm just like,
oh my,
it's such an awkward thing to say, yeah, but that's Elon, so it is what it is.
That is very inappropriate.
Weird,
It's
man.
weird. It's very weird.
It's weird. I mean, it's like, dude, what are you doing? So, and he does have like 12 children, so he actually could make that happen.
He does.
But yeah,
that's like
so
not even an
by
exaggeration.
different
He
people.
actually does have 12 children.
Yes, 12. Yeah, no, literally 12 children. Some of them by his employees, and I mean, it's just, man, I'll tell you. All right, so here, friends, love the pre-market on Tesla. We're looking at 224.90, and then below that, highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a great job. And then towards the top, we're going to mark down 233 actually, 07. So that's a good one there. And I think that kind of covers it for Tesla this morning. So just three for me, man. Very short list. I got POTR here. I got Roku as well, which again looks good. Maybe I'll move Roku up just to see if something happens here. This one could be the sleeper for today that surprises us, but my hopes are not too high. But let's see, 74.50 high of the pre-market. The low is pretty much right above the previous day close, around 70.60. And if we move to the left, we had this big old gap down. We had a few months back, beginning of the year, 77.61 and also 82.11. So I'm going to keep those levels there just in case. We'll see where this leads. Comments, creep. Yeah, very, very weird. It's a creepy thing to send someone. All right, Peter, anything else? How's our moderators list looking this morning?
Well, before we get there, I saw somebody asked us to take a look at Pfizer. I didn't. Pfizer's not doing much at the moment. Interesting news about their. I guess they got some competition coming in. They've got a stranglehold on one small area of the market, but gives them a multi-billion-dollar monopoly on a specific drug. I was just sort of reading the details about this. What is it called? This heart condition called ATTR cardiomyopathy. Anyways, and their drug tafamidis, anyways, is apparently coming under fire for its monopolistic position, and that could be a problem for Pfizer. Who knows? Pfizer's such a big company; it's hard to say whether any one drug will take it down. But I don't know. I mean, will it be in play? I don't know. I mean, Pfizer generally can. Pfizer's a slow play almost any day if you want to trade it. So if you like it, by all means, trade it. But speaking, just complete aside, if you like that industry, I watched a movie the other day called Pain Hustlers. If you haven't seen that, came out last year. It's with Emily Blunt and Chris Evans. But I enjoyed it. It was an interesting insight, sort of based on a true story of a drug company. Anyways, so worth watching. Anyways, I was surprised Chris Evans did a remarkably good job as the sales exec / CEO of this company. So it was a good movie. Anyways, Pain Hustlers. There you go. There's my movie recommendation for the day. All right, let's take a look at what our moderators are watching. They are watching, well, again, we always have some similar components. NVIDIA pretty much on everybody's list, except for Eamon, who's being grumpy and doesn't like anything. But Lenny's going to watch NVIDIA and MU, which did have a good day yesterday. Also watching Roku, mRNA, and Summit, SMMT. We did talk about that earlier. Didn't love it, but Lenny sees something in it that he might take a look at. So there you go. Mike is going to watch NVIDIA and MU. Thor's also adding Tesla, GM, and XOM. Interesting to his list. Haven't looked at that in a very long time. Phil's going to be watching Roku, PLTR, and Tesla, in addition to NVIDIA, of course. We've had a real slow time here on the IPOs. Haven't had any for like 2 weeks. I mean, there have been a couple of SPACs that have opened, but really not much of note. So, yeah, it's been very slow. I myself am going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, and of course AMD. And I think I'm going to take a look. I'll put Kroger on my list to see if it does anything. mRNA and well, I'm actually not going to be watching Lovesac, but I'm going to tell you I'm going to watch it because having a Lovesac is a lifestyle choice, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to make that lifestyle choice at this point. So, anyways. I see some comments about the airlines. Yeah, I notice all the airlines have gone up in the last 15 minutes. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there. But I made somebody spit their coffee out. Yes, that's mission accomplished, Brent. That's really all we want to.
All right, we can wrap it up. Show's done.
That's right. Good. Mission accomplished. We're feeling good with ourselves today. All right, guys. Brian is back in the saddle, and he's here. He's in with his list now. He's watching Tesla, MU, NVIDIA, Oracle, which we haven't talked about at all today. It had earnings a couple of days ago, and then AMD. So he's pretty heavy on the semis overall here today. So, guys, just, you know what? Whatever you do today, have a good day. Keep smiling. Make sure you trade smart, and don't rush into anything. And we can be as happy at the end of the day as we are feeling right now. So have a good one, and hopefully we will be, again, on the positive side of life when the closing bell rings, just like we are when the opening bell rings. Carlos, how about you, man? What's your list looking like? Are you going to be sticking? Are you going to look at mRNA today?
Yeah, I am, man. I like this drop here. I think there'll be a play. We just got to be really patient, right? We just gotta see where this goes. But I think there's a play here, man. This volume looks good, down 14%. So I'm excited about it. So
Good.
we'll take a look. Oh, you know what we forgot to look at? Also did well yesterday, Mara. If you guys take a look at Mara and Coin, they were also moving higher. But they're not doing a whole lot this morning. So I'll leave those alone. Friends, over on YouTube.
You traded live with us yesterday, Carlos, and you had actually a decent trade on PLTR. Showed some good patience on that, waited for the move, and then took advantage of that. So that was good.
I don't know about that. He wasn't even watching it. He was skipping around to other stocks.
I did miss. I did miss an area. Yeah, where I probably would have stopped out. You're right. I think we were looking at somebody else's trade. So I kind of took my eyes off the screen for a little bit. But yeah, PLTR, man, the way it trades, I just hate the way it moves. It takes so long. And I think we got stuck in here forever. This is where I kind of took everything out. Was it here? Yeah, because we got into this area here. So we survived all this crap and came back up and we got out. But it's just a brutal trader, man. But as far as that goes, friends, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it. 194 likes right now with 616 watching. So that's awesome. But yeah, hit that thumbs up and help us get to our goal of 300 before we end this show, which is like in a minute. We're just waiting for Brian to hop on here, and he's going to be trading live with you guys. Who's trading with him, Peter? Thor? Who's on deck?
It'll be Thor.
I'd have to remind myself, but I believe it is Thor today. Yes. Oh no. Yes, nice. It's Thursday. It's Thor. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right, friends. I think that's it. Anything else?
What is happening with the airlines here? I haven't really they all.
I don't know, but I am enjoying American Airlines right now because, as you guys know, I got a position on this thing in my Thinkorswim account, so this is good. I thought it was going to hang out here a little bit lower, so I could keep buying some more. Like it's just every month, I just throw some money at it. But yeah, I'm enjoying this right now. See where it goes. Huh. Any news? Let's see. American Airlines.
No, everybody's sort of asking the same questions. I don't. I don't see.
Could just be. Could just be market stuff.
No, I think it's people have decided not to drive electric cars, and they're going to fly
They're
instead.
going to fly.
Because Tesla's going one way, and all the airlines are going the other.
Sounds like a great idea to me, other
Wow.
than the flying part. But
Yeah.
Safer,
Wow.
maybe
I
safer
didn't
for
see good
sure.
news.
So
I missed this one from Tuesday. 2 Delta airline planes collided on the taxiway at Atlanta
taxiway.
in Atlanta
oh
and
yeah,
knocked the
I
tail
remember
off
that.
one.
There's a picture of the tail like hanging off,
Yeah,
like the
hanging to the
back end
side.
of
Yeah,
the
I saw
plane.
that.
Damn.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Okay.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's
Let's go back to the recording.
that's
Somebody screwed up.
yeah, that's either a pilot did not listen to instructions or some air traffic controller is getting fired.
And that ground guy is like doing the little like light
No,
thing.
no.
He's like, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
someone's
is not
definitely
good.
getting fired. Yeah, someone's definitely getting
Yeah.
fired. That's it's a very expensive mistake.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, friends, we're going to leave you with Thor and Brian. They're going to take you through the market open, get you ready for that. And great luck today, guys. Again, be patient. We've been having a really good day. And if you've been crushing it, just again, don't force it today. Today could be a small red day. Keep it nice and clean, right? So take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you in chat as well.
Trade smart.
Great. Thank you, Carlos and Peter. Great.
Yeah,
great
thank
pre-market
you.
show.
Trade. Peter says trade smart or trade like Brian and me. You can do either.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, but
All right. Yeah, Tesla really sold off here. Now it's sort of coming back a bit, but Tesla looks like it might be interesting today.
yeah, Tesla definitely looks interesting. Tesla hit a selling area that it sold from mid last month, wicked it almost to the penny, and then found a seller there and started selling again in the pre-market. We're in kind of more of a buying range right now on the intraday, so I wouldn't be surprised if it squeezes. But really interesting spot on the monthly. So I like Tesla today as well. I think it should have some action. I'm currently short on the market right now. A little bit after the news spike came out at 8:30, we did a soft pullback around 8:46, and I got short. So I'm playing down, trying to take advantage of a pre-market news event that we kind of keep having, which have been nice to get a couple extra bucks on. So we'll see what happens with that one. I got a target of 19. It's actually on NQ, and I'm looking to get down to around 19,200 on it.
So that was PPI data.
Mm-hmm. Tesla. Tesla is with pre-market data for me today. And right now we've been selling a bit in the pre-market. We have a large sell order. Institutionally, we actually seem kind of bullish. We have really big sell orders at 226 and at 230. I mean, like really big sell orders. And 230 is where it kind of makes a lot of sense. So if we can find a good buyer here, we could actually squeeze up towards 230. That'd be pretty fun. But we're selling right now, and that's a lot of orders. So we're not going to start moving up towards them until we start cleanly buying. So just kind of keep that in mind. You might need to be a little patient, but could be fun. Yeah, I can get my screen up. For the PBT peeps. How are y'all doing, YouTube peeps? Good to see everybody out there in YouTube land. Appreciate you. We had a lot of fun yesterday. We had some good trades. Hopefully today we'll find a few more.
2 days in a row with that market sell off. I was watching it from my phone. I bought TQQ at the bottom. Both of those sell offs. It was amazing.
Yeah, the market has been just an absolute gem the past couple of days. Can I get range bound with volume and movement all at the same time? It's like a paradise for me in my trading style. So I've been, you basically buying pre-market. Yesterday I bought pre-market, sold at the open, shorted, let it run down, made some profit there, then bought the lows. It broke the high of day before it closed. I mean, it was just awesome movement. So today I'm just kind of looking to, my week's actually already in a really good spot. So I'm just really kind of looking not to do anything too silly here. Has Thor gotten laptop giveaway privileges? I have not gotten laptop giveaway privileges. However, dinner, a movie, and a sit in Andrew's Lambo. I think we can do that. I didn't say a drive in his
Maybe.
Lambo, very specifically, because I don't want to give false
I
pretense
wouldn't
here.
be
It would
giving.
just be a sit because it's actually a really pretty lawn ornament. We have those here in the South. Lawn ornaments, just pretty things we put out front, like a lion or something you stick out there. So his is a Lambo, which is a pretty awesome lawn ornament, but
I don't think they're going to let us in to the Lambo store.
no, you probably got to like run a credit check just to get in there. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like you're going through the door and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, can you give me your social security number and a thumbprint just to walk in the door, please?"
Yeah.
And then they'd see mine and they'd be like, "What? All right, we're not letting him in here. Let's send him to the Jeep store."
Yeah, mRNA. What is the deal on that one? Looks like some kind of disappointing news, obviously. Could be worth watching.
Good old Lambo.
It's just running through some more.
What happened yesterday after 11 a.m.? You know, one of the things I think that happened yesterday was I think it was the CEO for NVIDIA. I think I don't know if you guys heard that the CEO NVIDIA came out and basically said, "Hey, I don't know about you guys, but NVIDIA kicks butt. We've got jobs to do. We got inventory. We're ready to go." And I think people who are kind of like not feeling the ticker kind of reminded and people just came in and started buying the thing. I mean, it was just, and I think basically the entire tech sector, which took the cues and the market with it, all kind of started popping on that. The market news itself was relatively mute. So it was really, I actually think that was kind of the catalyst of the day.
Okay, so mRNA could be interesting, actually. Could be an interesting rising devil trade. MU is selling off. MU looks like it just got a downgrade. I don't know. Oracle's high of pre-market. There's good stuff to watch here. mRNA's done over 1.1 million in shares, so that could be interesting. So I wonder if we're going to get yet another sell-off today. That would be cool.
I mean, we had such a rally yesterday, such a big candle. It was engulfing, but I mean, we could sell for a third, like the whole day, and not even give back half of yesterday's candle. I mean, this range is so big. So there's plenty of space.
I was on at the close with Peter and Jared and Mike, and we're just watching the way the market closed, and it was just like it was panic buying. It looked like to me.
We got about 15 seconds till the open, Brian.
Yep, we got her.
Get ready to party.
Got her. Getting ready. Okay, I'm gonna watch MU, mRNA. I think I'm gonna switch from Oracle. So we get a bit of a pop here on mRNA. MU's just selling. Damn.
Tesla got hit by a real big buyer right out of the gate. Totally squeezed the price. Yeah, I'm still holding my pre-market short right now, unless something happens. Yeah, I'll show you guys that.
MU and mRNA never really even popped up. Just started selling right out of the gate. Now I can't really chase them.
All right. Tesla. Tesla's order book is actually a little bearish right now, so it's a little hard to get. I like it for a buy in this range, though. I just need the order book to look a little better.
I'm short to MU. So maybe cover some here just because it just moved a lot.
Still holding my NQ.
Shorted mRNA too. It did pop up a bit there.
I'll set that on a 50 trail. I went ahead and grabbed a long on Tesla at 224.50.
I did cover some more MU. Uh, 85, 60.
All right, hit my target on my MU short. That's great. Here we go, Tesla. Come on now.
Well, mRNA. It's going against me here. Some of that. MU, come on, MU baby.
No, I mean, I just go for targets. I tend not to move my stop to break even. I always buy really close to the edge of the range. So it's kind of in a choppy area when I buy. So it's not, it's you know, so I don't want to be too sensitive with my positioning because it's not unusual for me to get retested a couple of times. It's if it goes through my stop is really when I know I'm wrong. Come on, Tesla, let's go.
Oh, wow, look at Tesla rip. I'm just covering some more.
I bought 224.50.
Sweet. Just covering some mRNA here, 66.30. I think I'm going to get out of the rest of my MU trade. Not sure if it's going to drop more here, if it's going to hold. It seems to be making a lower high.
Oh, this is monthly R3, yeah.
So I'm going to get out of MU.
I need 228.30.
NVIDIA's popping back up here.
Yeah.
It's going green.
Boom. Full target.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Wow. MU. Wow. Hey, look at Tesla. Jesus. Killing it.
That's what I'm talking about. Full target right there. Done. Boom. I also hit on my pre-market short. I hit my target there too. So let's call it. I hope hopefully y'all in YouTube, I know it's hard to call them because of the delay, but I know some people, hopefully unbearable traders, hopefully a lot of y'all caught that little S3 long there on Tesla. I actually called that too, which I normally don't do. That's how much I like that one.
Well, I'm glad I got out of MU short. That was a good trade.
Oh, nice, Adam. Hit it.
Beauty. Killing it.
This actually has a lot of topside potential in it now before it starts to sell. We can go higher. You can actually get around 230. You could go as high today on Tesla now as 230, 234. So I hit my target.
Yeah, really nice. Where are we going?
Oh, nice,
Tesla here? Tesla, yeah. Look at those orders to the upside. Wow.
Oh, look at all these traders that hitting the Tesla.
Here's my drop.
Y'all are making me smile.
Here's my drop on mRNA. That's what we wanted to see.
we're going to back test PDC right here on Tesla. The volume here ideally should rest. So as we're pulling back here, we don't want too much volume on this pullback because that'll show we're hitting a big seller at pre-market. Oh, look at that. We pushed. Volume came in as we pushed. That's good. We're advancing. Look at that. We're moving into this large seller at 229.50 and then 230. So it looks like right now current objective is 230. Ooh, big selling area here. Same here again. So we just want our volume to rest here as we're pulling down. We don't want to see too much selling coming in. We just, even if it goes lower, as long as the volume kind of stays muted. Look at that. See, volume rested as it pulled back, and then as it made the new high, see how the volume starts cranking in?
Yeah,
Ooh.
look at that.
All right, look, big seller.
Order.
Look at that. We got hit. We're hitting a seller here. Yeah, 229.50 as a good seller. We're doing well with it though. I still think it does. Our order book to the downside doesn't look structured enough for a sell. So right now, if we do drop into this void here, it'd be a really hard drop. So, and I don't think with that amount of buying volume, I don't know if I saw that, but that was this black candle here. That's a little ominous. But right now, I still think we're trying to advance. I think we're going to push higher. I think they want 230.
Okay.
Yep, there they go.
See if here we go. See if we get through. Oh, here we go. On Nvidia's
y'all in
going
BBT.
high.
If you took the same trade as me in BBT, if you have a Twitter, post a copy of your trade and tag our live session and hit me with it. Same thing with our YouTube peeps. Hopefully a couple of y'all got a piece of this Tesla as it started ripping.
Just covering some more mRNA.
Stop loss was right below. I think it was 223.50 or maybe or low a day. It was right below low a day. It sold down and pushed up.
I got long Nvidia as well here through 117. Just above yesterday's high. Looks like got a pretty bullish order book as well here. 118, 119.
Nice. Offshore Bat Gaming YouTube, first time coming to this show, and they got some good Tesla love there. That's great.
Nice,
DJ. All right. So we've run into the selling range on Tesla now. So don't be caught off guard if we start to have some drops here. So for those of you who follow my trading system, I delineate kind of using Camarilla pivot points where buying ranges and selling ranges are. So, it doesn't mean we're a short yet per se, but we have run into an area where I expect to find sellers, right? And we have been finding sellers, as we've been trying to push our candles have been truncated. We've been getting lots of pressure to the downside, lots of volume there. And for all this volume, we should have been advancing. So remember, original thought, here, I still think we could end up at 234, but if we find a big seller here at the lower end of the range, we could get pushed back down towards PDC, at least for now. If it loses PDC, probably wouldn't be worth continuing to hold it. Oh, there we go. See there, our buyer comes. Look at that. Buyer stepped right in. Let's see what happens with that.
Selling some Nvidia at 117.60. I think we're going to 118. Some more orders just showed up to the downside here. So
nice. I bought Nvidia
Yeah.
in my swing account yesterday near the lows. It was around like
Nice.
I think I bought like 108.50 or something like that.
Excellent.
After it broke, it
Excellent.
opened. It opened. I bought whatever the open price was. It broke down, came back up, and went through the open price, and I bought it. It was S3 on the month. My target's going to be 130, 130 on the swing.
Okay. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Fabuloso.
Okay, I'm out of obviously out of my MU short.
Nvidia's order book just brought a lot more orders to the top side.
Still have a little position on mRNA, but it's looking like it might hold here, bounce back a bit.
Oh, there's some buyers.
And still along a little NVIDIA here. See if we can get her up 118. It looks like it's struggling here, though. Those airline stocks really took a beating after the open. Popped up, tried to go higher. Here we go. NVIDIA got into 118. Come on, girl. Add zeros. A nice trade on Tesla. Nice breakout. Trade there. Beauty. Big order at 118. Over 100,000 shares.
Still going.
God, I almost should have added it on that pullback on NVIDIA. Yeah.
I told you, the order book still looks strong.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting well into the selling range now, and oddly enough, this is happening while the ES and the NQ are being very muted in their performance.
Yeah, there's nothing going on with those indexes. Absolutely nothing.
That's too bad we're not at R4. Look at this beautiful test to R3 here, and then the high volume on the sell and then the new low. If this order book was a little bit weaker, I'd be interested in going short here. But the order book actually, despite the way it's setting up and it looks like a short, the order book right now is just a little bit too strong for me for a short on Tesla. I'd like to see this thing make its range run, which would still be a move to 234.55. I'd like to see it get all the way to R4. And that also 234.55, if you're looking at my screen, notice what happens. Right, once you got this large order right at 235, that would allow you to hit that large institutional order and then fail.
Filled at 118. mRNA coming back up out of that.
Look at this guy. You're killing that one.
Yeah, NVIDIA's working. Follow through. Your account's benefiting as well.
I think NVIDIA goes at least to 119.20, like 119.50.
Yeah, there's still some big orders there.
It's just already started a transitionary movement upwards, and it just doesn't really have any reason to not keep going that I can see, other than the market. Like the ES and NQ are starting to look a little like they're struggling here. The volume keeps dying as they're pushing. If they can't get going, if they roll over, they could pull NVIDIA with them. But right now, I'm not sure. Market looks very like almost balanced. Like it doesn't, it's non-directional right now.
What was that spike with mRNA? That was a drag.
Hey, Bayar over on YouTube. So I actually share my screen in the main BBT chat room, and while I'm sharing it, I actually have my order book, a visualization of the order book that's up that people can see on whatever ticker I'm looking at, as well as the main one. So, but that's, you can see those in the main room. We have a, we just, whatever we're talking about, that kind of gets mirrored into the YouTube. Especially with the delay, we don't like to do too much of the preemptive stuff otherwise. Order book on NVIDIA just picked up some downside orders back towards 117 at PDC, so I would not be surprised if we do a pullback to VWAP here.
Yeah. AMD.
That was a good call. Look at that happen right after I said it. You almost think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anyway. Looking at AMD here, look at... It kind of rolled over as well.
I really do love DOS's level 2. It's not as like visual, obviously, as using like a book map, but DOS's level 2, especially if you're using the order highlight feature, you can really spot the large orders when they start to fly out to the downside. So, for instance, NVIDIA here just brought out a whole lot of orders all the way down to 117, now down to 116. So it was as soon as you saw the orders come out, the price just ran.
The Qs are at low of day now. Ooh, the SPY just went red.
Mm-hmm. This is what we're worried about. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We just, with all of these techs rallying, the Qs wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? With all those techs bringing in volume, Qs should have been rallying. It was setting up for a sell.
Definitely.
Or at least a small one.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully get a real hard sell-off again, and then we can buy the dip. Who are these people that are selling like so hard at the open, and then they must feel really foolish when they go look at the end of the day and see the way the Qs ended yesterday?
Oh, for sure.
Must be painful.
An interesting
unless they were short and then they were long.
I had a little delay. I think I was going, so I ended up talking over you a bit. But
okay. Diddly do.
But yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, that was a lot of work. Apple finally getting into an interesting spot. I have one trade I can take. I don't know, we're through.
Oh, look at AMD. AMD's rolling over. You bugger. mRNA. God damn it. Look at that. Just spiked up to stop me out. Oh, look at that. Yeah. NVIDIA, I'm going to...
So rude.
Rude.
That's Brian all day, though.
Yeah, it spiked right up to the VWAP and then rolled over. This was the next move I was looking for. I'm going to get out of the rest of my NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
Just flat on the rest.
Oh, look how bearish Apple's order book is right now. See, like Apple's order book was really bearish even at the open. I wasn't looking at it. I just went to look at it now because it was getting down near S3. I wanted to see if it was maybe a buy, but it's not. It's selling hard, actually. CVD's red, order book's very weighted to the downside. So institutionally. So it actually looks like this thing's kind of going to move lower, which I guess makes sense now that the market just started selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nvidia's coming down to 116. By the looks of it, there's an order there looking to get filled.
Nvidia for me, now that it's selling, would not be a buy again for me unless it gets all the way to 114. So just for anyone who's thinking about longing, or for me at this point, if I'm going to long Nvidia, I would need to do it off of some kind of reasonable support level. So that would be at least 114 if it's a long at all. If we go into a sell today could just be a mean reversion. We had an incredibly large buy yesterday. There's no reason we can't come back down to like 112.50 or something on Nvidia and kind of, even things out a little bit. There's a high value area at 112 too from yesterday. Had like a whole ton of shares were exchanged at $112. So that's definitely where we can find another buyer if we start selling. But that would be quite a move down.
Yeah. Some big Tesla's gone red on the day. Some big orders at 227.
Tesla's a challenge now because Tesla's a seller now. It's in a selling range on its month. So if Tesla starts selling, we might have already we might have gotten that upside move. We might be on a sell now. So we'll see. The order book's still institutionally bullish. So it could go up, but only if the market bounces.
Yeah. Yeah, there is still a lot of orders to the upside, 232 through 235.
Yeah, if it had gotten up there, Brian, and threw a bunch of volume up there, I would have shorted. But I normally don't on a range like this. I normally don't short where it went short from, although it does often go from there. I just like it to be a little bit higher, but I like it. A YouTube question. Rustic Elegance. Hey, Thor, I need to reread this part from your book, but what do you look for on the order book? I see mostly ones on L2 and just colors on time and sales. Really just have bookmap to see orders effectively. So, Rustic, that's a really solid question. A lot of time with traders, we spend an insane amount of time on what we call the where, like trying to figure out where we're going to take a trade. And I actually kind of learned this from my buddy Brian here, which is really the most important part of trading is the when. It's really not it's amazing how easy risk reward is if you pick the correct direction. You know what I mean? So one of the main things you need to do as you're developing your skills is make sure you are paying attention to the order book and the tape. I'm not a very good tape reader. I mean, I can read the tape. I understand the principles. So I use volume and price analysis to offset my deficit in my tape reading. But that would be an entire lecture. I do full 1 hour lectures on VPA. Which if you come by BBET, we actually have some of those available in our elite webinars on recording that you could watch. But we can go in there and talk about all that different stuff. But really what we're looking for, just as a basic idea, is these large orders on the book are institutional based orders, and they're really what steers the market's traffic. So over time, with volume, price will move to size. So that's where we start. And then we start using volume and price analysis. Brian is an incredibly good just reader of market movement and timing and stuff like that with his extensive experience he has. So we use that and we say, okay, if there's a lot of orders here, how much volume do we have? How well is the market working towards moving towards those orders? And then once we have that figured out, then we start saying, hey, is this a place I can buy? So for Brian, that'll be something like a 920 pullback, or pull back to the 9 using the 20, or he'll do some of my favorite opening plays, or his lead balloons, rising devils, shooting, all of those kind of situations where he's utilizing these quick price fluctuations to get advantaged positions. So, but all of it's just reading price movement and being able to move. The best trader uses price movement and those things, and then pairs that with the levels they want to use.
Snuck a little long in Tesla here. It broke back above the View app.
I mean, the order book's still strong up there. That's what I'm saying. I want to short if it gets up to 234, not here. This is the reason why. Squeezy.
Yeah. And the Qs, I was looking at the Qs too. They kind of rebounded. So
Qs on the rebound.
Doing a little option trading on Tesla now. Find it's easier to do options once you get a little bit into the trading day. So just trading the 230s that expire into the week. Since we are trading in and around this 230 level. Thor, do you have your your configuration on your level 2?
I can. My entire DOS is available for download in the BBT link. Otherwise, for the configuration itself, I don't know if I can export just the Actually, maybe I can.
Yeah.
Level 2 config. Can I export that?
I don't know.
I don't think I can. I'm happy to share it with you, though. Here, I'll throw it in here if you want to see it.
Oh, Peter's Peter's playing Pfizer. Just that was a bit of a surprise. Kind of tried to go green.
A little PFE.
Yeah.
Well, good sir, it is almost 10 o'clock, and I actually have an appointment I have to run to today, so I am going to be cutting out at 10 o'clock. So I did want to say I appreciate everybody out in YouTube land. Thank you so much for the likes and the fun interaction this morning. Hope you enjoyed some of those calls we made today. We will still be doing this thing tomorrow, and then we have some new backup for Brian, I think, next week. So make sure you come by and hang out with me at least for one more day while we do this fun thing. Everyone at BBT, don't forget, tonight we have, for the elites, we have Thursday night mentoring, 8 p.m. after hours, low key because of the lack of market being open. We can really talk about deep topics there because of that. So I really hope to see everybody in there this evening. Make sure I open the doors at 7:45. Make sure to get in and get your questions in early, so I can make sure to get to all of them. I hope you all have a great one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, people. And thanks for trading, buddy. Always fun.
Hey, awesome day. Yes, sir. Thank you, Thor. As always, a pleasure. Nice trade on Tesla.
Flexible and creative was really essential to what I wanted to make, and I didn't find a platform that did that other than
trying to, there we go, pull up YouTube. Thor always has an appointment to go to. Yeah. Well, he's a busy guy, you know. He's got 2 kids. Oh, there goes NVIDIA. One of them has some challenges, so he's constantly having to be an Uber parent. What options am I trading on Tesla? 230s. If you're going to trade options as a oh shit, look at NVIDIA go. If you're going to trade options as a day trade, just generally speaking, you want to stick the ones that are close to being in the money, and you want to you probably want to stick to very short dated options as well. Like I was trading the ones that expire at the end of the week, so tomorrow. Or you could go out to the 20th, I guess. Actually, now that I look at it, I was trading the ones on the 20th, expire on the 20th. But just as easy to trade the ones. That way you get the best movement. If you're obviously trying to get the best movement for the move on this underlying stock price. And that would be your, what they call your delta. So how much the stock's going to move, the option price is going to move compared to the underlying stock price. Yeah, wow. NVIDIA's breaking out here. Definitely. Well, I was trading the calls because Tesla, when it pulled back there, it kind of held. Tesla has this thing about violating levels and then coming right back up. So Tesla on that big pullback, right around 9:45, it dropped down. It actually went red on the day, and then immediately it sort of snapped back, went bounced. Actually, it kind of was a 920 trade. Now that I look at it, it would drop below the 9 EMA, hit the 20 EMA and bounced off it, which is we call that our 920 trade. Usually those don't happen till after 10 o'clock, but in this case it bounced off the 20 EMA, came back up, went green again, went through the VWAP, and that was kind of the signal that was back to being along again. So right now it's stalling right around where this R3 level, 230.45, which is where it stalled before. Wow, yeah, NVIDIA's killing it. All right. Yeah, you could do some. Now you could do some options trades on NVIDIA as well. Although kind of hard to chase it up here, unfortunately. Again, this was kind of an interesting trade. It pulled back after we had that big run up, pulled back around 9:45, and then it kind of dropped below the VWAP and then came right back up again. That would have been kind of indication that it was probably going to go higher. Buyers were waiting for that pullback. So now we've got 118, 119, 120 for some big orders. Big orders. 119 on or 120 on NVIDIA. I mean, the nice thing about trading options on Tesla and NVIDIA is the liquidity, the amount of liquidity that's in these options. There's just so much trading going on. It's easy to get in and out of them if you have to. The spread is 2, 3, 4 cents on NVIDIA on these options. But if you look at something that's not maybe is actively traded in options. Like, for example, look at Zscaler, 162.50s. I mean, the spread's like literally 50 cents. So really hard to trade, those options, other than on stocks that are, really highly active and active in the options market. And there's, like, it's just the popular ones, really. Even Apple has 10-cent spread. So no positions for me now, kind of waiting and seeing if I can find, let's see if I can find something set up to trade. But we've had all sort of the big reliable moves, the ones that have a high percentage of win rate. So I'm just looking for something again that might look like positive. Tesla's back down, testing previous day close. I'm not. Under other circumstances, I might be interested in shorting that, but there's just too much. There's just still a lot of bullish orders to the upside. So it just, the chart looks a little weak to me, but the level 2 still looks bullish. So it's that basically means it's not an A+ setup. So I'm not gonna trade that. It feels like it could go either way here, but I'm definitely feeling like Tesla's gonna drop here. It's gonna lose PDC. It's just hanging on to it right now. Qs and the SPY, they're really, like, literally the Qs are pretty much right where we opened. It hasn't done really anything. SPY is down a bit. SPY's in the red. I still think Tesla's going to drop here. But Tesla has this way of faking you out. So, I don't, I'm not going to take that trade. MU's kind of bouncing back here. You love NVIDIA, rats. You love NVIDIA. I know. Before Bookmap, I might have taken that trade. Yes. See, it just doesn't want to drop here. You see how it dropped below the PDC and then came right back up again? Because I just don't trust Tesla. See, the problem with trading at this time of day too is when the market opens and we get that first half hour, it just feels like direction of a lot of stocks is a lot more predictable, if you want to call it that. After when we get 45 minutes into the trading day, we've got to look for trends. Doesn't kind of suit my style of trading. Let's look at some other stocks here. Google, Meta, they're all just like literally trading sideways. Yeah, see, we've still got a pretty bullish book here on Tesla. Still got a pretty bullish book on Nvidia. But it's just a matter of whether we're going to get some buyers coming in here. Which it just feels like we're not getting any buyers, but we're not getting any sellers either. Well, MU, rock on. MU is a difficult stock to trade, I've found in the past, so I kind of reluctant to trade it. It's definitely getting some buying interest. Again, no real orders to the upside until you get to 189, sort of 50, which is at this point is probably like a no intention to fill bid. 189.50, that would be back into yesterday's, so almost back up to yesterday's close. Qs are now breaking out. SPY is coming back up. It's back through the VWAP and the moving averages, back up to yesterday's high. So some buying here. Pretty Nvidia is going to challenge this 119 level again.
Howdy, Brian.
Good morning.
Just thought I'd come.
What are you trading, Peter?
See how things are going.
Peter, you were shorting Pfizer.
I was just watching it. I actually did not short it. One of our members mentioned it, and I put it on. I had room on my list, so I put it up there. Noticed it was really moving down off the open, but no, I didn't actually trade it. In fact, I have no trades this morning. Nothing's set up the way I like. So sometimes, it's all about watching, waiting for your opportunity.
That's right. What have we?
Like you said, sometimes when the markets are, not going in any direction, you can get stocks that move. A great trade. Thor had an awesome trade on Tesla, not my setup. So I was watching him and I thought, yeah, I see what he's seeing. I get why he's doing it. Looks fantastic. Just not my gig.
Not your cup of tea.
Not my cup, which is, sometimes you can say, oh, that's too bad. And then, maybe you want to develop something on it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to jump in and follow him because I don't have the full strategy that he's working on. I don't understand exactly what he's looking for and why. So I've learned that's dangerous to just jump in and follow someone. It might work once or twice, but, over time, it'll work against you.
Yeah.
So.
Peter, I got a great question for you in YouTube.
Oh.
And this is for Brian, too. How many monitors is optimal?
Oh.
What do you say? You would be the guy that knows.
I think that depends on your level of expertise. That you can increase the number of monitors as you increase your trading experience, in my opinion. If you're in the first 6 months of trading, you probably only need one or two because you want to be able to focus on things and really sort of understand what you're seeing and why you're seeing it. If you've been trading for a year or so, you could probably have 3 or 4. I've got 6, and I don't think I'll ever need more than that. In fact, I only use really 4.5 for trading. The other is for the chat room and the stuff we do to manage the chat room, and the other one's for news. So I would say, it depends on your status. There are some people that go crazy, right? That have like I love this one guy that's got like this entire room that's like a wall of like 50 monitors or something.
Yeah.
And literally,
Yeah.
but he's evolved his trading where he literally walks back and forth across the monitors, and he just puts like all the stock tickers he could ever want to look at up. And then he has people who executes his trades. Like, yeah, I don't know what he does. He brings in like students or something and says, Tesla short 300 shares now. And then he just barks out orders and expects his people to execute. I think it's funny.
The minions.
But,
I would agree with Peter. I mean, I'm running 6 screens. I don't find that I would be more productive. I don't believe I'd be more productive if I had more. I mean, there's only so much you can watch.
Yeah.
At any one time and be effective. Because, if you try to watch too much, you're going to be distracted and you're going to miss stuff. I think one of the other questions you should be asking it is if you're day trading, how many stocks should you be watching at the open? Because if you look at, some of our moderators, it ranges from like one or two. Like Mike came up this morning, he was watching 2. A few of our moderators watching 3 and 4, and some people watching 5. So, but these are all experienced, traders, and we would, strongly suggest, don't watch more than 2 or 3 if you're starting out. Just focus on a couple of those stocks and just watch for your trade setups on those stocks, and be like Peter. If you don't see a setup that fits your trading plan, then sit on your hands. There's always another.
I would suggest even fewer. Just watch one, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You're always going to miss things in the market. I think when you're starting out, that's one of the things that people get worried about a lot is, I'm going to miss the move. I'm going to miss a move on another stock. The answer is yes. You're going to miss a move on another stock, right? Every day there's things that move that you're not watching. That's the nature of the market. So, but the sort of the bird in the hand type analogy here. Watch the one thing, and if it doesn't set up on the thing you're watching, so be it. As you get more experience, you can start to watch more things. The other question we get that was part of this was what resolution. I mean, I'm using cheap monitors. I've got 27-inch monitors that are at sort of the standard nowadays. It's a standard 1920 by 1080, resolution. People out there go with 4K monitors and stuff. I personally feel there's no need for a 4K monitor. Charts. Yeah. This is not a video game, right? There's not that level of graphical depth. Like, charts are pretty simple. You actually don't even need the resolution that these things get now. It just makes it look less pixelated, right? Makes it prettier. But you don't have to go with super expensive 4K monitors. I said all of my monitors, they're $150 to $200. Right? I buy them when they're on sale. I've got 2 spares sitting in the basement, so if anything fails, I can swap them in and out. That's my theory. But if you like the look of a big 4K curved monitor that's going to cost you $2,000, sure, go for it. But it's not necessary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
now, if you want to day trade during the day and play games at night, then
that's different. Yes,
that's completely different.
Yeah. You might be buying your system configuration to accommodate, the gaming stuff, right? Because then you need low latency, 1 millisecond delay. You don't need that for trading, right? Like you don't have to. All my monitors, I think, are 4 to 6 millisecond delay. It's not, it's not that critical, frankly.
No.
Although I'm actually looking forward to my next trading trip, which is scheduled for, I guess Colombia is the next thing that I'll be doing, but because I've got this new travel monitor that I bought that I'm looking forward to using. So,
is that that one? Is that one of those ones? Well, let's see that. See it.
Yeah, it's a nice,
very nice.
here, where am I? I can't see where I am on the screen here. But yeah, it's a nice thin profile,
Beauty.
16-inch, display, good resolution, sort of the same resolution as what I have on my laptop itself. Because I have an older monitor that's they're a little thicker, but they have a lower resolution, and I just find you can't fit as much on it, right? So it's looking forward to using this.
Awesome.
It'll be fun. As we set up in Colombia, we're going to have some trading room. I hope Andrew orders good quality internet, because hopefully he's considered what happens when you get 20 people in a house, in a rental house, out trying to trade.
Well, I don't know if it's a rental. I don't know if we to be able to decide what kind of internet connection we're going to have.
No. Well, yeah, you probably don't get to ask that.
Yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Right, but maybe we make other, provisions. Bring in your the Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
Unlock the Starlink. Chris, I have no idea what they have there, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Didn't it?
I find if it gets too bad, I might tether to my phone. I use the virtual SIM cards, and I'm planning to buy a package when I go down there that'll give me like whatever it'll be, like 5 or 10 gigs of data that I can go through my phone, and then I get to use their 4 or 5G network. I'm sure they've got at least 4G. So,
Peter, have you seen the new? I think it's, how's it pronounced? Huawei, the new triple fold phone.
The Huawei? No. Aren't those aren't those illegal in North America these days? Where you're not supposed to the Huawei stuff. But I saw a picture of that where it's like just creates like a big screen right off your. Yeah. See, like that looks cool. Like basically you're carrying a monitor in your pocket. I love that. I mean, I don't know how long that would last. I'd be worried that
everybody
you fold
needs
it up
a monitor in their. Everybody needs a monitor in their pocket.
Yeah, it's not a monitor in your pocket.
Exactly.
But I mean, again, that's the type of thing I picture like would be great for traveling, right? Like if you're a navigator in a car and you can unfold this thing like a map, right? Or you're sitting watching a movie on a plane. Like it's that much more functional in a smaller form factor. Can I show you my setup? Sure. You want to see my setup? Here, look. You ready? There you go. Look.
Oh, Peter,
here's 6 monitors. So you can see I've got 6 tracking stocks up here that are pretty stagnant. These down here are the ones that I change every day. So I've got Pfizer and Kroger and mRNA and Lovesac and Signet Jewelers just to see what they're doing today. This is my main trading screen that almost always has NVIDIA or AMD. This is my other main trading screen. So these are the only 2 I watch when like Brian was saying, if I'm actively looking at a stock to trade, there's only 2 I'm looking at. Despite all the others that just have things that I'm watching, these are the only 2 I trade off of. And this one usually has Tesla or Apple by default, unless there's something else that is setting up for a move. This up here is the one that I share with the room. It's the white charts, right? It's got all the market indices on it. And this is you guys. We'll get the infinity screen going here. Ooh. So,
yes.
Chat room, news and stuff. So there you go. That's what I sit and look at all the time. And then, of course, my books. Yes, I've got lots of books. Trading books, sci-fi, spy novels, all sorts of stuff.
Because Peter used to be in his other life, used to be a spy. used to work for the Canadian government. Why not? You knew it, eh, Pino?
Knew it.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy who I'm convinced is or was a spy. I'm not sure if he's retired now, but he'll never admit it. Of course, he wouldn't be a good spy if he admitted it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah.
Well, I told him. I said one when we get old, and we're getting old now because I've known this guy since grade school. I said, I just want to come sit on the porch of my cottage. I just want one afternoon as we're sitting there. I want you to look over at me. Just give me a nod. Don't say anything. Just give me a nod and turn away, and I'll know it was all true and you really were a spy. Just that's all I need. So I'm hoping one of the days he does that. Whether it's true or not, I don't care. I can then live off that. I knew it.
Knew it. You could work for Homeland Security.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is all these phones with the bifold and trifold, if we can actually get the VR technology to a point where you don't have to wear a giant headset on your face, if we can actually get it to the point where it's in a set of sunglasses type form factor, then all of it becomes moot, right? Because then you wouldn't really need the phone at all. You could just basically have any size screen you want. No. We have John's going to be joining us here. He's our special guest for today. Still watching, by the way, guys. I haven't ignored the market. I'm looking for opportunities for my trades to set up. Not much is setting up. Nvidia, maybe we're at high of day and it's moving. Tesla's really gotten ugly. It's like a snake here. Just
Tesla's just keeps bouncing off this level here. This previous day high, and pretty close to the previous day close, which is because it went out pretty those levels. Still looks like Nvidia's gonna break 120 here.
Yeah, I see Jatin's mentioning Broadcom, EVGO. EVGO's at high of day. Moving pretty slow, but
have you got R2D2 in the background there?
That's my the notifications on my phone. I'll turn that silence.
That was
it's my Android friend, my little robot.
Yeah.
No.
Just reinforcing my belief that you're working for the government undercover.
Do you work for CSIS?
I can't say that I have. No.
That's what somebody for CSIS.
You're not going to believe me if I say that.
Yeah.
Because
Nvidia's going to 120. And there's still institutional orders up 121, 122, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah. Just looking at Tesla. Tesla is setting itself up for a big break one way or the other. I just don't know which way it's going to go. If you look at it, all of the, since the open, we've got higher lows and lower highs, right? So it's a tightening range. There's my 10:30 alarm when we often get a change of direction. So you can't draw easy lines on this, but I mean, definitely you can easily see how the lows are a little bit higher and the highs are just a little bit lower. And, as it tightens itself in, eventually it just cracks through. But I'm not going to make a bet as to which direction that will be.
Qs have decided to break out. They're
I see that
above
Spider.
the pre-market, or right at the pre-market high. They're at your tinfoil line.
The good old tinfoil line. Yes, they are. Actually,
yeah. AMD's looking like it's going to break out here as well. So semi's having a pretty good day, actually. What's SOXL looking like? So is John coming on here, or what? What's the deal?
You bet he is.
Yeah,
It's
going to be.
We're ready to switch over when you are.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody out in YouTube land, thank you for joining us again this morning. Peter, I know there's is there still the dollar deal?
Still the dollar deal. You bet.
Okay.
So $1, you can sign up, to be a member in the room, and then you can take advantage of this chat room all day, not just the open. VariableTraders.com/YouTube. I think that's where it used to be. I assume it's still there.
And we got 329 likes today. So I hope everyone was able to take advantage of some of the opportunities we did have today. So we'll sign off here and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday, another week come and gone. So take care, everybody.
Not yet, but we're getting closer. Yes.
Getting close. All right. Take care, everyone. And
later, Brian.
Thanks for joining us.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks. And there's your buddy, John.
It is. Your friend and mine, the Johnster.
Good morning, Peter.
Happy Dolphin Day.
Thank you very
Apparently
much. I'm getting some feedback here.
Pretty.
You have to mute one of the tabs for vMix.
Oh yeah, probably the room. Mute the room, maybe.
Even in Chrome.
Yep.
Yeah, in Chrome, just right-click on the tab and then mute the sound.
You can mute the room using the room controls.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Can hear you just fine.
Okay. That didn't work.
Are you doing that on the vMix call? Because you have two open. You need to mute one of them.
All right. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Now I can't hear Peter.
No,
I'm
Peter,
here. Sorry. I got to talk so you can hear me.
Peter, can you hear me?
Well, John figures that out. We'll see.
Peter,
It is apparently World Dolphin Day. I don't know what that means. I doubt the Dolphins know it's World Dolphin Day. I doubt they celebrate.
Can you hear me, Peter?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I closed the whatever tab I was using to screen share because this is going to be a disaster. So that means I don't have the thing to share that I wanted to share, but maybe I can rectify that. Hold on one second.
All right.
We can always just share your screen on your camera feed.
I'm Brett's shaking his head right now. I had this all set. I read the instructions and everything.
Yeah, you're supposed to open it in Firefox because Chrome won't take the mute function. It's okay.
What if I don't want to download Firefox, you big bully?
Edge works too. For whatever reason, Chrome doesn't work.
Fine.
But it's okay. Let's move on.
All right, let's keep trucking here. Fucking hell.
So John's had a big couple of days. I thought it incidental that it's World Dolphin Day. Again, I love how like every day there's a world day for some ridiculous thing, right? Whether it's like World Donut Day or, World Big Gulp Day or who knows. But anyways, today is like World Dolphin Day. And that's sort of news because yesterday, John, you were talking about dolphins indirectly. You put a tweet out there that got Elon's attention.
That's true, and that somehow devolved into a conversation about dolphins and the idea that I don't like them, which in all fairness, I said I didn't. It wasn't true. I was just trying to get Andrew's goat because he knows that I like Elon Musk and Andrew does not like Elon Musk. And this has been going on with us for a while now. So when he started defending dolphins, I had to take an anti-dolphin stance just to get this conversation spicy.
Always being the devil's advocate, eh?
Right. So Peter, if you check your Bearable Traders email, if you have access to it, there should be a PowerPoint in there. If you go to the last 2 slides in that presentation, you will find what I was going to share today. If that's
oh yeah. Hold on a sec. This is exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, Elon liked my my tweet, so that was shocking because I've been told Elon likes your thing before or whatever, or Elon's following you, and it's never Elon. And then I got this, and I was like, huh, it kind of looks like that might actually be him. And I clicked on it, and lo and behold, there he was.
There he was. Wow. You actually want the last 2 slides of this, John? There's 151
yeah, just
in this bad boy.
Yeah, just go to the bottom there.
This is the second last. This is the last.
Yeah, there you go. This isn't really what I wanted to talk about, but I got a good trade on Oracle today, so I thought I'd show everyone. So if you go back to that one, this one back one, yeah. No, just classic high day break trade here. There's the what I refer to as pivoting volume in the morning. You can see where the volume is always high on the first 1 minute bar, and then it sells off. The volume obviously gradually declines, which it kind of does here. And then it starts to make a pivot. And if you can align, if the pivoting of that volume occurs as the price hits the high day, it can be a pretty good trade. And also right about where the high was, there's just a pink dotted line there, magenta dotted line. And that's the pre-market high, which often serves as a good breakout level to assist with a breakout. I didn't think Oracle was going to do all this. So, ended up being way better than I was expecting. But this was live with the boot camp this morning, the Peak Capital Trading boot camp that we run. So they all think I know what I'm doing now, which is good. Can't beat that. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about is on the next slide, though. And I notice it's not going to display correctly because it was made in Google Slides and you're opening it in PowerPoint. It's fine. We can talk about this anyway. But what I wanted to talk about, actually, is this even going to fit on one slide?
Well, here, hold on a sec. I could do it this way.
Shrink all the text down. Just shrink it all down to like a smaller size. It might go properly. I think it's.
Why don't we do it this way? I'll take it right out of Google Slides. How about that?
Boom. There you go. So what I want to talk about this morning is something I talk about a lot with people in the boot camp and during my mentorship sessions. I'm doing one today at 11 o'clock. If you're an elite member, we'll be in the webinar room. But I hear people call out levels a lot during the day. And, and it's interesting to see what becomes popular in a community. So in our particular community of Bearable Traders, what you see on the chart here are levels that are very popular in our community and popular, many of them in any day trading community. So you have the previous day close, right? That's where the price closed yesterday. That's a very popular level to have on your chart. It's actually by default in our popular DOS trading platform. It's just there. You'll hear people on CNBC talk about the previous day close. Like it's that kind of level. But even in larger time frames of trading and swing trading, it becomes a popular level. Below that, you have VWAP. You know that one, Peter. That's very popular in our community. A lot of people have it tied to their strategy. Yesterday's high and yesterday's low are something most people have on their charts, along with the pre-market high and the pre-market low. Volume point of control, maybe not quite as popular, but I think a lot of people use that. But then Camarilla pivots are quite popular. And I don't even have all of them listed here. I listed the ones that tend to come up the most. So if you add all those together, that's 13 levels. And then you're not even done. Because if you go below there, you can see most people have 4 charts on their screen, at least. Some more, but I'd say kind of the minimum is 4 for a lot of day traders. That would be a 1 or a 2 minute chart, like your quick action chart. Then most people have a 5 and a 15, and most people have a daily chart as well. So if you have all 4 of those charts on your screen, you're gonna be incurring even more indicators, because most people have some moving averages on those charts as well. So popular moving averages in the variable traders community are the 9, the 20, the 50, and the 200. That's 20 more levels. That's 4 moving averages times 4 charts. Oh, excuse me, 16. I'm sorry, I get the math off there. 16 levels. But if you add those together, it'd be 16, and the 13 would be 29, not 23. In either case, my point here is, if you have 29 levels on your chart, you're always going to see price reacting to something, or not always, but very, very commonly. Thanks, Peter. You're going to see price reacting to what you think is a level, when in fact it could be, or maybe it's not. And what I see it doing to people is a few things. It tends to mess with their profit taking, because they see the price, they get into a trade where the price is actually moved in their direction, but they start to run into the very first level of the 29 that they have on their screen and say, oh, the price is hitting the, yesterday's low or whatever, or this moving average. And it makes people often jumpy and to take profit early, to take off money when they shouldn't be, because when you start to decrease your buying power by taking profit, if you're not really, to the giving your stock a chance to hit the actual target you want to hit, you're putting yourself into a hole that's hurtful, because you're going to have a hard time overcoming your losses, because you always get scared out taking your profits early. And then on the flip side of that, what you see is often people setting their stop below one of these levels. So they'll set their stop below VWAP perhaps. And it's a bummer when the price comes down and you're about to get stopped out, right? That's when none of us like that feeling. You watch the price, you take a long and it's just not working. It's going lower highs, lower lows, and it just creeps right down to your stop, and you can feel it coming. Oftentimes you'll look at these 29 levels available on your screens, maybe up across your many monitors we were just talking about, and you'll say like, well, I bet it will hold itself at X level. I bet it will hold itself at this Camarillo pivot. I bet it will hold itself at yesterday's high. I bet it will hold itself at this other moving average. And we start to like kind of adjust our stops and say like, I'm still right. I still believe in my initial theory that this is a long, but it's just going to need a little more room to the downside. And then you get in trouble, because we all know, Peter, right? In trading, one of the ultimate sins is moving or removing your stop. So, yep. So where do you go with this, right? Because I just sound like a typical Debbie Downer, like I always do, I guess. But I would suggest to people that that maybe you reduce what's on your screen, and you're not going to know exactly what is valuable to keep on and what to take off without doing what we suggest of everybody, that is to like, trade a large data set of trades before, or large enough data set of trades before you start making rash decisions about changing strategies and changing what's on your charts and whatnot. But try to give an honest assessment through your journaling and try to understand, like, do I really need this on my screen, or is this just providing extra noise that's cheating me out of becoming the trader that I really want to be? I know over the years I've taken more and more off my charts. And at this point, they're very simple. I have all the moving averages. I don't use those at all. I personally don't use the Camarillo pivots, though I know they're quite popular and I know people get a lot of good use out of them. I tend to prefer levels that are horizontal. So I'm not as big a fan of the dynamic levels like VWAP and moving averages. They're VWAP's an average as well, right? It's volume weighted average price, and the moving averages are averages of past time frames, whether it be nine time periods or 20 or whatever it is. But those ones, they're not horizontal, right? They snake up and they snake down. I'm not quite a big a fan of those, but at the end of the day, what's true in day trading is if a lot of people are watching and reacting to it, then it matters. So it doesn't make me right to say I don't have any moving averages. The 200 on the 5 minute could be a very, very important moving average. It's just that I don't identify it as such. It doesn't factor into my strategy, perhaps. But that's the topic I wanted to talk a little bit about today, Peter, just to kind of just throw that out there. And people may disagree, they may agree, but I've always leaned toward we probably have too much stuff on our screens.
Yeah, and it's a tough topic for people because actually we were sort of talking about this right before you joined about how many screens is enough and what should you watch, right? There's always this feeling that I'm not watching the right thing because on any given day, any one of these crazy indicators, right, it could work. But really what you're trying to figure out is what works most consistently for you and how do you keep that stuff front and center and not get distracted by all the other things that are around it? And that's not an easy decision to make because inevitably, you're going to feel like, well, the indicator I took off was the indicator that worked today. So you're going to add that one back on and then it won't do anything for 2 weeks and you're going to find another. And like, it's tough making the choice, but I think you're right, John. Like at the end of the day, the best way to figure it out is you probably start with what I call the superset, right? Maybe it's all 29 of these, or maybe it's some subsection of them, or maybe you have other things, right? Like John's not listed every possible option. You might like Fibonacci levels or Bollinger Bands, or like there's like tons of stuff out there. But the point is, you start with a bunch, you start tracking all of your trades, and what are you actively using to determine what to trade? Once you've done that, our recommendation is minimum 60, better 100 type trades. And you say 100 trades. Yeah, that takes a time. It takes a while, right? And they're not just 100 any trades. That's 100 good quality trades that actually meet your trading criteria that you can actually do some analysis on and say, okay, so over these 100 trades, I've realized I only used the pre-market high and low like 4 times. And of the 4 times, only twice did it yield a valuable indicator. So maybe I don't need that. I can take that off, right? Or whatever the answer may be. But that's going to be a different answer for you than it might be someone else. And that's that's hard to get to because you've got to figure out, what am I watching? Where do my eyes go to? What do I find relevant? There's no absolute right or wrong answer. I mean, John, you've taught the high of day break, and I think of the hundreds of people that have said, "Oh, I'm doing that," I don't think any single one of them does it exactly the same way you do. And you'd think that's a pretty simple. It's a pretty, in theory, it's a simple strategy, but the reality is, it can take as many forms of, how do you decide what your entry is? Which trades do you decide to take and not at which timing? Like all those decisions come into play, and it means that everybody's going to make them slightly differently.
Yep, you're exactly right. A lot of people, especially those who've come through boot camp, have said, I want to trade this as my strategy during boot camp. And I'm very happy when they start to stop trading like me and they start to say, like, I actually am sticking with this sort of, but actually I like to trade. I like to take my entries earlier. I like to use these levels of as confirmation. I have one trader recently who'll probably be in my mentorship session today who likes to trade the break of the pre-market high specifically. It's almost the same trade, but he trades it off of that level as opposed to the high a day, which I find really cool. I like people that wait for more confirmation than I do, because all it tells me is that they've put in the work. They've amassed a data set of information and they've reacted to it, and they're adapting a trade book to fit them. And sometimes that fit is really personality based, because like I like to get in on a high day under the right conditions. I like to take it the first attempt it's making. A lot of other people have said, I like it to let it break and then come back down and see if it'll hold. And if it seems like it's going to hold, then I have other conditions to take it then on basically the bounce off, what was the old high day, and then take it first. They wait for the retest. It doesn't make me right, and it doesn't make them right. It doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make them wrong. And in the end, I always tell people who do that, who wait for the retest, will miss some of the straight breakouts that I get, the ones that never retest. But I will get faked out on the ones that break out a little bit, come back to retest. I get out of those, and that's where other people are taking their entry. And so if 6 months down the road, I compare my trades to the guy or the gal who trades the retest, we might have very similar results. It's just trading it in 2 different ways that we believe is best for us.
Yeah. Now, guys, great comments both in the chat room and YouTube. So check out what people are saying, because some people are giving you their perspective on what works for them. And a lot of these comments are right on, right? Like if Guy Incognito is saying, if you trade exclusively high of day, you don't need many indicators. That's not really the case if you trade other things. I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
That's by design, partially because when you trade high day breaks, the lower time frame moving averages are all below you.
Right.
The 1 minute, the 9 and the 20 on the 1, and probably the 9, the 20 on the 5, perhaps they're all below you. So like they don't even come into play, which does greatly simplify things. He's exactly right. Half the indicators I talked about are not even a worry for me because they don't even come into the strategy. VWAP by definition cannot be part of my trade. It has to be below the high of day. So that's a great comment. Very, very insightful.
Manoj is asking a question. If you reduce your indicators, do you depend on intuition or market trends? Now, I hope you asked that before I made the earlier statement, but in case you didn't catch it, let me state it again. It's neither, right? I don't think you should reduce your indicators based on intuition or market trends. You're going to base it on the data you get from your own trading. So you need to decide which indicators you're going to have. Make it a superset, right? A whole bunch of indicators. Trade at least 100 times the same trade the same way. Over that process, journal your trading and say, which indicator did I use? Which indicator did I observe? Like, it's a lot of work. The more stuff you have, the more stuff you have to document. Over the course of that, developing that data set, you will start to realize which ones you rarely or never use, which ones you rely on most heavily, which ones work. Even if you're relying on them, they don't always work, right? You may say, well, I was relying on this thing, but frankly, it's not, it only works 50% of the time. Well, that's a coin toss. That's not helping you that much, right? So from that, you'll figure out which ones you can get rid of and which ones you should keep that are giving the most value. And you may find it's none of the above. You may find you're watching all of the wrong stuff. To give you just a quick example of that, if we can, Brent, if you can call up NVIDIA's chart right now, when one of my signature trades is the Mountain Pass. Just not to take all of John's time here, but my Mountain Pass. And my Mountain Pass requires a retest of a high of day. And if you can put up the NVIDIA chart on a 1 minute, just on the screen here, we could take a look. I originally thought I was going to be trading. I started by developing a 920 cross. And he's got that on his chart right here. See at around 945, the 9 and 20 moving average. This is the gray lines he's got on his chart, but they crossed. But it was sort of after the move started. And I started to realize my indicators were too latent. They were too far after the price action, sort of like what John was saying, right? Sometimes if you rely on an indicator, you may realize it's not giving me an early enough signal. So I started to realize I needed other indicators. NVIDIA did a wonderful thing right here. Instead, I'm saying, well, look at that spike candle it had at 934 with a high volume. So my following of the indicators started to help me realize that, whoa, chart's going all over the place. No, sorry, I meant 1034, not 934. My mistake. I spoke the wrong time. You're right in the right spot. So that spike on the volume said that's my first indicator. The second would be that I started with. Instead, the indicators led me to a better, what I personally think is a better suited trade strategy for me. What I still use, though, is the 50 moving average, which is one you can see moving up through his chart. I've got it as a red line on my chart. It's just another gray line on the chart we're seeing on the screen here. But you can see it intersected the price action at about 946, 947. And I use that as an indicator of when I would take a partial, because I find often the price bounces or moves towards that 50 moving average. And right now, look at the price for the last 4 minutes has sat right on that 50 moving average. So the way I use the 50 moving average in my trade decision in this instance for what is my now signature trade, right, started by looking at a 920 cross, which has no bearing on the actual way I trade right now. So don't get discouraged. What John's saying is exactly right? Use these indicators, find them, determine what works for you, and it may lead you to a trading style that works for you that may end up having nothing to do with the indicator or relying solely or heavily on an indicator. But don't presuppose the outcome. Right? Start investigating, start doing something consistently. That's the best way you're going to be able to figure out your trading over the long term. That would be my advice. Other questions we've got here. John, to you, Dalton is saying, my issue when I see a stock go against me, I exit the position before it hits my stop loss, then it goes my way and I should have stayed in. So should I stick to my levels no matter what? Or should I depend on ATR? Oh, now he's getting real specific. All right, well, I'll let you.
Yeah. Well, you should definitely leave your stop in place when you say stick to level. So stick to your stop, right? That's not really his question, but I'll throw that in there because traders need to hear that. Well, yeah, if what the strategy that you're trying to work out says that your stop goes here, where whatever you've determined is where you should place it, then yeah, you should stick with that and then gather information on what happens. So if you start to find that you're getting scared out and you're exiting your position, but the stop actually works and you get evidence that that behavior is detrimental to you making money, then yes, of course, right, you should stick with it. But you got to convince yourself, Dalton, over a large enough data set. And I don't know, Peter, what your opinion is before you make a change in a rule book or react, but I really think you need on the order of, I don't know, 40, 50 trades or so before you start, really making too many changes. Could be less than that perhaps, but I see people make changes off of 4 or 5 trades sometimes. Like they can't even get to 20 and this doesn't work. And it's frustrating because when you get stopped out like 3 or 4 times in a row trying to start, some idea that you're working on, it's natural to feel like this clearly does not work. But it's just not enough information. It just isn't. You can't. You need a bigger N, as they say in statistics. You need a bigger number of trades to make that decision. So don't react too early, especially when it comes to dropping a strategy. That's a bigger thing than like saying like, well, I don't think my stop's in the right place. That's a smaller decision. But to completely jettison something you're working on that's a bold decision because you're just going to move on to something else that is likely going to frustrate you early on in your data collection because you don't have enough information. So it's tough. I sympathize.
I agree with what you say. I would stick. You asked me how many. I would stick to the 60 minimum to 100 trades you need to do. And as soon as you change one single thing, by the way, in my opinion, your data set starts over. Because you've changed the trades, the environment and the setup, right? Yep. If you want good data to decide, does this work? As soon as you change something, you start counting again, right? Don't just leverage the data set because you're going to give yourself basically false positives or false negatives, but false data.
I like that you said 60 to 100 because when I was trying to think of a number, I'm like, is Peter going to think 50 is too high? But
no.
But it's
well, like you said. Because part of the thing that we often don't appreciate, like you said, like all the time, John, you and I see people make changes with, a handful of trades, right? Half a dozen, or even 20 trades. The problem is you don't only need multiple trades, but you need trades in different circumstances on different days with different market conditions, right? With different news catalysts going on behind it. The 60 to 100 number makes sure you get those conditions, different times of the month, different days of the week, right? Like, and like most people when you're trading, you're probably not going to get 20 instances in a day. You probably are only seeing a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5, no more than that, which means you're going to force yourself to be trading for at least a month or more on that, which means you get to see these different types of market conditions and understand, prove to yourself the fact that, well, maybe it didn't work on the Tuesday I started, but it worked great Thursday and the following Wednesday. Is that a pattern? I have no idea, right? You're going to need a bunch of Wednesdays and Thursdays to figure out. Probably not, right? But you need a whole bunch of data to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't know if we have any more questions here. I guess we have a bunch. I don't know the best way to address these. We take these from the chat room and YouTube, Peter? Is that how we do it?
Yeah, I'm pick for wherever you want.
Let's see here. Cindy, if we missed our stop, should we try and wait until it comes back down or just exit ASAP? Actually, I'm a little confused by that question.
Wow. I would interpret that to say, if you missed your stop, meaning the stock has gone past where you said you were originally going to stop out, get out the second you realize that. I don't know why you missed your stop. You shouldn't. But if you did, get out and reassess.
Yeah.
Commissions are cheap.
That's the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we get afraid to exit a trade, right? Because we're like, but I'm already in it. I've already made the commitment. Yeah, but it's past your original trade setup. You're better to get out. Then you can actually reduce your emotional level and look at it dispassionately. Say, now, would I re-enter this at this level? Usually the answer is no, right? Usually you're holding on to a trade just out of stubbornness or not wanting to lose. Well, once the loss is in the book, now evaluate. If you look and say, well, I wouldn't get in here, then why would you have held it, right? So, and if the answer is yes, then by all means take it again, but make sure again it meets, it's a good trade following your trade book strategy. But yeah, get out would be my advice.
Jaden has a question. He posted this twice. I know he wants to get this in here. He's saying his trading problem is red day is always max loss, -5R. Green day just 1 or 2R. Any advice? Right, because that's probably, well, we actually fully don't have all the information there, because if you have 90% green days, then you're fine, right? But I think what he's saying probably is he's struggling, right? So it concerns me when it says red day is always max loss, because it kind of sounds like you always trade down to the max loss. And if that's the case, you got to work on that, right? You got to work on your patience and your adherence to the trade book and the entry rules that you're trying to develop there. Because if honestly, there are some people who kind of always trade down to their max loss. I see it a lot in the equity curves in boot camp sometimes, not a lot, but you do see people that you can kind of tell they just keep trading, even if they're green on the day, that kind of keep going until they just get in that hole that is their max loss. And you can't trade like that. On the flip side, you got to look at your winners, and there could be many reasons why your green days aren't as big as you want. But typically, what I see with traders is they just take profit too early. And there's one thing that drives that a lot of the times is there's a desire to get their percentage of green trades as high as they can. And so traders often split their trading results into green and red. There's green trades and there's red trades. There's trades that made money and there's trades that lost money. And a lot of traders, whether that trade made 9 cents or $900, they count it as a green trade. And the problem is the green trades are all over the place because they do range from 9 cents to $900. The red trades often are like all 1R, if they're risking, I don't know, $100 per trade, then their red trades often are kind of average out to around 100 with not a lot of variance because they obey their stop. When they get stopped out, they stop out. But they're killing themselves because you can't overcome those losses by taking those weak green trades just to get that percentage higher. That's not the entire game. That's not the entire math behind this. It's not just your percentage of green trades. You have to get decent winners. So you have to teach yourself to hold for targets and stop taking, I'll just take 20% off here and, I'll bank $20. That'll cover commissions, or that I'll be able to journal it as a green trade and that'll make me feel better. I'll get a little dopamine release for taking the $20, but you need to be making $300 because of what you're losing on your losers, So that's a common issue. And Jaden, we don't know from your statement what exactly might be the problem, but you might want to think about that.
Yeah. Let me dive in and give what I think is practical advice. Let me divide it into two sections. First, I would say you got to be data driven, right? Exactly what John was saying, but let the data on your trades tell you where the problem might be. First and foremost, you need to divide the data on your trades to your trade entry decision criteria. How am I deciding to take the trade? And then trade management. How am I taking profit or stopping out, right? So on the first instance, any trade that doesn't meet your trade entry criteria, when you go back and look at it afterwards, get rid of it. I don't care if it's a winner or loser. It's full stop. You have no way of replicating that success or failure. It doesn't matter. You may look at, when you say you're always max loss, the 5R or whatever you said you had, if you look at it and you say, well, the first trade was good, but it just happened to be a loser. Well, that's okay, so that met first criteria, right? It was your good trade entry. It just happened not to work out. But because it didn't work out, it made you angry, and then you revenge traded 4 times and lost. Those other 4 are meaningless, right? Because there's no criteria around that. take the subset of trades you've got that actually met your trade entry criteria. Now you can look at them and say, how am I managing them, right? Maybe I'm getting nervous. And like John said, I'm taking partials too early. I'm not following my rules. Now, you could do something about managing that, right? On the losses, are you like, well, I as soon as it got green, I put my stop to break even, and then it came and stopped me out. Like, I fall victim to that. I've done that type of stuff. But you can look at that. That's a different problem to fix and address than I'm just taking bad trades to start with. Because if they're bad to start, again, it's irrelevant how you manage them. You can't replicate that condition. If you're managing a good trade entry poorly, that's a different thing to fix. So that would be my advice. Start taking a look at your trades in that context. That'll help you. It is possible, I'll finish by saying on that sometimes you might just have a bad trade strategy. Not all strategies work, right? I know it's a harsh reality, but not all strategies work. And it may be just the way you've defined your strategy or the specific thing you're looking to do doesn't work. But you'll never figure that out unless you get through that first part I talked about. Are you actually executing the thing you said you were going to do? And then how are you managing it once you've made that entry decision? So hopefully this helps you guys. I know there's a lot of questions we didn't answer and get to, but this is the type of stuff John and I love to do, that we do as part of Bearable Traders. We do in our webinars. We do as part of P Capital Bootcamp, because this is the hard lessons, frankly, that we've learned. And you know what? We don't sugarcoat this stuff. We'll tell you this is not easy. It's hard, and yeah, pardon me if we're, upsetting you with the directness of our language, but the reality is, unless you hear that direct feedback and are willing to accept it, there's probably not much we can do to help you. So hopefully this was helpful this morning. John, thank you for joining.
Thanks, Peter.
And, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm rooting for you that you find another wonderful tweet that catches the attention of the elite out there.
I hope so.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Again, check out bearabletraders.com if you haven't, and we'll see you back here for the pre-market show tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone.